Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's F4 Foils webinar. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the race foil and the slalom foil, and the idea is that you guys are also going to be able to ask questions during the presentations. So we're going to start with Julien going through the race foil bundle and a little bit about his insights on that. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or you can also use the little raise hand button, and you can we will take you one by one at a time after Julien's presentation and let you ask the question. I'm leaving over the microphone to Julien then to get started on the race foil.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Tobias. Hey everybody, I'm super happy to speak with you tonight about F4 foil gear. We have the chance this year to have a very good gear, and especially I wanted to introduce you the new race foil. So what is super important to understand about the brand in general is that this mast is the main part, and the same part for example, for the race foil, for the freeride foil, and for the slalom foil. So the setup of the three bolts on the bottom and the connections is the same for course racing, for slalom, and freeride. So this is super important, and this is super good, I think, to be able to change the parts. So this is the first thing I wanted to tell you tonight. Also, why I choose also F4, and we are working a lot with Chris and the guys from the team since a lot of time now about the stability and the stiffness of the mast, especially the mast, and also on the connection. I will speak a bit later about the connections, but the mast is super stiff, so it gives a lot of stability and more control during the flight. So this is super nice and super easy to use actually. And especially on the race foil, because we use such a huge wings, front wings, and compared to the freeride and the slalom gear, which normally could create more balance because we have more lift on those big wings. And actually, on the F4 foil setup, it's super stiff. I can tell you, it's super stiff, and so. This is what we wanted to achieve with the guys of the team. So it's a good point about that. So this is the mast. The mast actually is 97 cm long. Okay. We have actually one mast and two planes. We have with this mast we have two fuselages. Okay, so last year we had 120 fuselage, and now we have two 115 fuselages. We have 115 cm and 115 plus. So Chris, I don't remember, but I think it's +5, huh? +5 cm.
It's +10.
+10, sorry.
+10. It's a really big difference.
So yeah, the difference is this. Yeah. So
it's a huge difference.
It's huge difference. So this is aluminium. Fuselages, and yeah, it's maybe a bit more heavier, but it's I think stiffer compared carbon. What we used before. I think this is super good. I think. For me, I use the plus mainly in the light wings with the big wing. I will speak later about the wings. And I use the 115 normal 115 for high winds. So that's it for the fuselages. And about the wings, we have actually two wings, two front wings. So the big one, so the span is I cannot show
It doesn't
everything.
fit in the camera.
It's too big. This one is 1 meter span, which is actually 945 square centimeter, which is smaller than what we had before, especially on the chord. It's shorter. The chord is shorter, and we have a little bit less power than before, but the wing is super fast, and we have less drag than before. And at the end, I think the performances are super good. So I'm super happy about that wing, for the light wing. I use that wing for 10 the big one, the 10 square the 10 meter sail, sorry, and I use the small one. This one is 900 cm span, and it's 850 cm square centimeter. So this one, the chord is a bit bigger, but it's also a wing that I use in the high wind, and I think this chord is super good for to give more stability during the high wind. So I like as well this wing for 8 meter sail, and sometimes 9. It depends of the chops and water. So that's it. And to finish and to complete the set, we have 2 back wings, 148 cm wing. As you can see, it's super small. The chord is super small. The thickness as well is super thin. So actually, all the gear is what I think now. All the gear is super accurate, and what all is super. The profile are super thin, and to go as fast as possible. As you can see, the tips are not so big. They are just small because we needed this kind of tips to give stability, especially in the chops. So this one is 230 square centimeter, and the small one is 210. So same design, super short chord, and super thin thickness. So, and this one I used for the high winds with the small sails. I hope it was clear for you. So I'm open for any questions.
I have a couple of questions from other people who couldn't join us tonight. The first one is, can you describe your perfect training day? What do you do?
For me?
Yes.
Now I have an injured, so I cannot go sailing. But now what is super good, especially for on foil, is that we can sail very early. I mean, we don't need so much wind now to go foiling. So I live on the sea, close to the sea on the Atlantic side, and it's not all the time super windy, especially during the summer. You just need like 7-9 knots, and you can fly super easily, and you can do long distances. So yeah, this is what I like so much on the foil, and I like as well the high winds, as Antoine will introduce the slalom gear after. But I think the foil is super nice in the light winds, and that's what I enjoy a lot. And this is what I like so much when I go sailing.
Hey, Julien, there's a question about mixing and matching the fuselage with the different wings. So can you comment at all about putting the 90 wing on the 115 plus and vice versa? Have you had any experience with that?
Yeah, actually now it all depends what you want to do exactly. I try to push a lot the 115 plus fuselage. I try to use it as far as possible. I mean, even if the wing is strong, I try to use that combo of fuselage. Because we on the race the guys are pointing so much, so I try to keep this fuselage with the front wing quite further in front. So that's the reason I try to keep it. But for sure, if you want to go a bit faster downwind and also on the reach, I think it's quite good to try and to use the normal 115. So all depend what you want to do exactly. If you want to race and if you want to compete with your friends around you, if you want to point more than him, for sure you need the plus. If you want to go a bit faster, you even with the big wing, with the big sets, I mean, I think 115 is good, especially on the reach course. Sometimes in France we have some reach course with big reach. I would not use the plus because it's too powerful and a bit slower on the reach.
Hey, Julien, can you talk a little bit about the difference in your mast foot position and how you sail with the plus? Because it's so much further forward. You know, it's more front foot compared to the other one. I don't know if you want to comment about that. I see a lot of the guys now not using any rear straps. So what do you think about that?
I'm still using the back straps, but yeah, you're right. Actually, when I have started to use those new combo, I put more forward in front my foot straps. I put probably 2 holes in front, which means about 5 cm in front. So it's quite a lot. And yeah, I know some guys are not using the back foot straps, and yeah, probably it's a good deal to try, especially on the first sessions, just to try where naturally we put the back foot. So, but now it's okay. I'm sailing good with the 4 straps. So yeah. And about the mast foot position, it's as well a bit more further in front. Probably I would say 5, yeah, a bit less than 5 cm in front. Yeah. It's okay for my answer, or need more?
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think like Eric is saying, you know, the 90 wing works really well on the 115 plus, and maybe for maybe not such a big rider like myself.
Yes.
You know, this is going to be a really good one.
Yeah, exactly.
To try,
Yeah, I completely agree with this. Yeah, I think even I have said that I want to push. I would like to push more with the plus, but it's true that we could also use the plus with the small wing. So with that wing. So yeah, I think it will. I have not enough experience to be sure, but because we just received it a few months ago. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's also good for racing with and for smaller guys with the small 900 wing. Yeah.
Cool.
Can I ask a question about sail size?
Go ahead.
Thanks.
Sure.
So my question is, so for lighter winds, I would say like 9 or 10 knots, and assuming the usage of the 115 plus, of course the 1 meter wing. So what is the recommended sail size for I would say like 90 kilo sailor?
Yeah, 90 kilo sailor. You can ask Antoine, but I'm pretty sure he will say 10 for sure. No, I think 10 is good. You can use 10. And now the new sails, the new 10s are quite easy to hold, so it's not like a few years ago that we just received the new 10 where they were so heavy, and So now it's quite completely different. The profile are super different, and it's much more easier to hold. And they are less, I think, much more less draggy than before. So I think it's a good opportunity to get 110 as well.
So, for example, what brand of such a sail would you recommend?
Yeah, for sure. Null Pride, you can use Null Pride because Antoine and me, we are on with the Null Pride, so I will not say okay, go away with the Yotone. So no, for sure, yeah, Null Pride are super good sails. So.
Have you been keeping track of all the questions we have in the chat?
Yeah, I think so. I'll answer some more. There's some questions about the Olympic foil. Will we make an Olympic foil? This is an interesting question. You know, Olympic. The concept is supposed to be multi-manufacturer, and I think originally World Sailing had decided just that Starboard could build this, but you know, certainly it's something we're interested in, and we're going to look to see about this in World Sailing. So definitely this year we'll explore this, and I'll answer the other questions in the chat. Yeah, looks good.
All right, perfect. So if no one else has another question for Julien, we'll move over to letting Antoine talk a little bit more about the slalom gear.
Hello guys, so this is Antoine. Me is the same as Julien, is like working with Chris since many years now, because we were developing the foil with Null Pride, and so I just got all the slalom set like 1 month ago, and I knew a little bit because it was like a continuity of the foil we developed from last year, from 2020. So I think Julien explained already in the first webinar what we have in the slalom set, but I'm gonna tell again. So actually the mast is the same than the racing and the free ride, like Julien was saying. So 90 centimeter long, super stiff, as you can listen. It's really important. The stiffness is really important, especially in racing, but also in slalom, because in slalom you can go, normally you go in light wind as well, so you want that to have a lot of response in the foil. So you don't want to have like a spaghetti under the board. You really want to have something stiff that will give you control, and if you get control, you will get speed for sure. So I'm super stuck with the mast because it's really stiff and really strong. So I like it, and I need it because I'm pretty heavy as well. So we have two fuselage. This one is the 1 meter, and the other one is 90. And Chris, is this the size?
Yes.
The second one is 90. So I was using most of the time the 100 because it developed actually more power. As long as the fuselage is, you get more power. So I just came back from Tenerife. I was in Tenerife for training there with all the guys, and it was good to be there because I could compare my speed to the other guy who do the PWA, like Matteo, Iachino, was Enrico Marotti as well, was Maciek, was some other guys. So I was using a lot the long one because actually we went a lot in the light wind with the 9 meter, with the 8 meter as well for sail. So I was using this fuselage in the really light wind with the 80 centimeter wing. This is the light wind ones, we will say. So the cord is really narrow, like was saying Julien, and super thin, and they are stiff as well because the stiffness also in the wings is really important. You need to, otherwise you're gonna start to make the trampoline, and this is not so good, not great to get control as well. So the 80 wing was really good. When the wind picked up, I went straight with the 70. and with the 70 you start to get some speed, and we had on the first reach we were pushing a lot because all the guys were there, and we were going down the first mark, 29, 30, 31, 32 knots in quite choppy condition, because in Tenerife it's absolutely not flat. So I was really impressed, you know, like when you are going sailing alone, you are pushing, but you are not pushing as much as if you have some other guys around you or in front of you or behind you pushing you like crazy. So I was really impressed. I could go really, really fast. I think I did my best time in such choppy condition. So I was super happy. We have as well two back wings. So the small one is a 38, and the big one 38 centimeter, and the big one is 42. The 42 I tried, but it needs to be really, really light, because you get extra power. So I was using a lot. Most of the time I was with the 38, even with the 80 wing. And one time it was really light. I went with the 90 because I'm quite heavy, and I think in a really, really, really light wind with the 9 meter, because I don't think so that I will take the 10 meter for the light wind. I prefer to have a bigger wing and a smaller sail, because with the big sail, like the 10 meter, is quite hard to make the jibes, because first it's more heavy, it's more wide, the boom is more long. So it's a little bit more difficult. So I would prefer to use a small sail and use a bigger wing. I try as well the short fuselage, so the 90. This fuselage is more for like wind condition. The problem there in Tenerife that it was quite choppy, so I think I had better control with the long fuselage. I think the short fuselage will be more for condition like flat water. So if you go to south of France, for example, for the Defi wind or something like this, I think the short fuselage will be a good option, because you have less drag, so actually you go faster. What we can say more, we have little shims like this. I don't know if you see, that we can put with different thickness, that we can put under the back wing. So it's to create a little bit more lift. So when the wind was good, actually I was not using, because as you can see on the back wing, you have this shim made in one piece with the wing, which is made to have actually, how many degrees is Chris? Is 2 degrees now, or 2.5? I forgot now. Julien?
Yes, I think it's 2.
I think it's 2
degrees.
So without the shim was working already super great. So I use the shim. I use 1 degree more, and the 0.5 when the wind was really light. But at the end, it was developing a lot of power. So you have to watch out, because if it's developing a lot of power, you get the nose of the board wants to go. You're gonna plane earlier. But as soon as you accelerate, the whole foil wants to go out. So you need to put a lot of pressure on the front foot. So without the shim was working good. I don't know if there is any questions or stuff like that. I will be ready to reply, of course.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions in the chat. I can do the first one from Team Oppedal. They ask, I mean, you won the championships 25 times. Sorry about that. And they wonder, what's the secret?
There is no secret. If it was one secret, it would be harder to win for sure, because everybody will have the secret. But actually, no. The only secret is to have to be in good condition, to like what you do, but also to put the right person on your side. So it means the right gear. So the right board, the right sail, actually now the right foils. So if you want to go fast, you need to have the best equipment. If you don't have the best equipment, you can be fast, but it will be more hard. So actually, if you get good gear, it's like if you go car driving, you don't want to go with the tiny car. You know, if you want to go the fastest, so you need to have the good gear.
Right.
Hey, Antoine, how is the racing changing, do you think? I mean, it looks pretty crazy now with combination of fin and foil. Is it getting a little bit more mature, or is everybody kind of knowing better how to sail the course without killing everyone? What do you see happening in racing?
Yes, for me actually it was the first time, because last year I did some training in Tarifa at the beginning of the year with the French team, but our level was not as high as it is now. But when I went to Tenerife, and we were like 8 or 10 on the starting line, and with 5 or 6 guys really pushing, it was kind of crazy to see the speed we go all together, super close. And arriving at the first mark is kind of a little bit scary, but you can see that the level of the rider is higher. So I think it's maybe less dangerous this year than it was last year or 2 years ago, of course, because we have a little bit more control. But for sure, if you are following one guy like 29, 30 knots, and this guy makes the mistake and fall, it will be super hard to avoid the guy if you don't see at the wrong moment that he falls, you know, because it's way more difficult to change direction on the foil than with the fin board, you know. So of course, I think it's an extreme sport, so that's why we're gonna have to wear impact vest and helmet. But what can I say? You know, it's like other extreme sport. People can get injured. I hope it will not happen, and if it happens, I hope it will not be dramatic.
All right, we got another question from Agostino. It's for both of you, but so he says, when you have multi days of competition, do you disassemble the foil every day like I do, or do you don't, like some other friends do?
So I can reply this. When you go on tour and you have many days of competition, you know, you never exceed like 5 or 6 days or 4 days. You can leave your foil mounted, because every time I go, that's what I do normally. Every time I go out of the water, I have my little 1 liter of fresh water, and I clean the foil. I clean the foil, and I put the foil bag on top to protect it. Now, if you are at home and you know that you're going to sail for 10 days, 15 days, it's a little bit long. You need to, it's always better to unscrew a little bit the screw and just clean it with fresh water.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we try on in San Francisco, we're always in salt water, so we have to pay attention on the aluminum. So we wipe it with clean with fresh water, and then spray the fuselage with WD-40 or some penetrating stuff like that, and it makes the fuselages last so really long. For the screws, the Tef gel is amazing. That stuff sticks on there. You have to be careful you don't get it on everything, but definitely if you disassemble it, it'll definitely last longer. This year we've got some anti-corrosion, a cap on the mast, so it doesn't the carbon doesn't contact the mast there. And then if there is a shim, you're using on the rear wing, you don't have to be quite as meticulous about it. In the front wing, I don't know, we'll put a small piece of isolating material there, but that's basically the idea. Is you don't want the carbon to be in contact with the aluminum where possible.
Tobias, I didn't talk about the small wing, which is very interesting. Actually, is not. I don't think so. It's 60, Chris.
Yeah, it's 56. So
it's a little bit less. Yes. So
yeah.
I didn't use it in Tenerife because like I told you, the conditions were not super flat, but I used it a few weeks before. I was in Tarifine training, and I used it on quite flat place, not so flat, but okay to use it. And it's really surprising. I used it with the long fuselage because the wing is small, so you need to have a little bit of support to get planing. And I was surprised of the stability and the speed because I was easy over 32 knots. Huh? So it's a really interesting concept of front wing with the small back wing as well. So I need to use a little bit more to see how it goes.
Yeah. This one, we're exploring the limits, at least on foils with speed, and we've come up with some different wings. We're working on some other ones too, and this one is it's very small. It's only 337 square centimeters, and you can see it's based on more of a V shape. And if you look closely at the wing, it's the wings have quite a lot of twist.
I put the 70 on top of the.
Yeah. It looks tiny. It looks like a rear wing. But definitely, we're continuing to develop this. These small wings. This is a first samples. We've made some prototypes, but we're continuing to explore this definitely. With Antoine, who likes going fast.
I put the 42 back wing and the small front wing.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from the chat here. If the wind gets stronger, is it more decent to change the sail, or can you change to a smaller wing?
I can say something about that. Yeah. On course racing, I think it's quite complicated to reduce the size because we have downwinds. If we don't have enough power for the downwinds, it's quite complicated, I think.
The size of sail or wing?
I mean the size of the sail. Sorry. Yes. About I think on slalom and reach on the reach or slalom, I think it's completely different. Maybe Antoine, we can talk about that, but on course racing, it's a bit different than slalom. So this is maybe the only difference. I think on course racing mainly we have to push far as possible to hold the big sail to get power for downwind and to be efficient for upwind of course. But on reaching and slalom course, maybe Antoine, you can say something about that. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a little bit the opposite because in slalom foil, as soon as you get a little bit of power with the 8 meter, you can jump straight on the 70, yeah? Because you will accelerate so much better. The wing is supporting you enough to make the foiling jibe. So it's better to keep the big sails and use the small front wing because you will get more speed, just more speed because you will get less drag. So it's always better to come down with the front wing. What I wanted to say, right? So yes, but as well, as soon as the wind picked up, you can jump quickly from the 8 meter to the 7 meter or the 7.4. It depends what sail you have, but you don't need to have too big sail as well in slalom. It will depend if you want to ride with your friends, not to have any problem in the reach, or if you want to do the PWA, of course, But if you want to go with your friends, don't be scared to use a small sail because actually you will have to pump a little bit to get planing. But as soon as you get planing, you need a small sail.
Right, we got a question for Julien here. Do you move the mast track forward in high wind?
Yeah. I spoke a little bit about that just before, but yes, it's what we do in general with the old balls. So we do exactly the same for foiling. So yeah, if it's super windy, I remember not last year because it was a lockdown, but the year before in Azores, we had such big wings and high winds, and for sure, the only solution we had to survive was to move the bass track forward. But we do that as well for sure.
Right.
Just one thing, Tobias. Maybe we didn't spoke too much about that. I think it's super important. It's about the connections. The wings connections are super different this year. Maybe Chris, you could say something about that, because I think it's super nice what you did, and also on the rear wings it's super simple, but I think it's super good. So maybe you can say something about this, Chris.
I mean, this is ever since I think we started, with the foils. Maybe it was in 2013, I think, and we're always, trying to engineer the best connections. You want things that are, easily changeable and easily manufactured, simple, that you can, you can easily, change the wing to a different wing and so forth. So, this year we put on the front wing, we put a bolt pattern that has a couple of bolts side to side right along the load path. So we're picking up a lot of the torsional component on the wing. So it's the surface area of that connection is really important, and we've tried to maximize the surface area there so you can have a flat surface to connect to, and yet keep the fuselage frontal area to a minimum. So that's the idea. There are some extra holes in the fuselage. So if there are older wings, there's an adapter shim that you can use for all the older wings with the 3 bolts. So the other thing that design helps you do is that you can easily put wings with different profiles and mount it to that fuselage, which is the challenge that we ran into, because we had used a profile-shaped connection on the mast, and then as soon as you use a different profile, you're into a shim hell, different shims for different wings. So if you have to have a lot of different shims, it's just something you can easily lose, or they can different angles and things like that. You wind up with too many combinations. So with the flat connections, you can you can have a common set of mounting surfaces you can make your design to. So.
And you remember, Chris, what I told you is super simple, but when I said to Chris it's super nice, what is super nice is when you put the stabilizer on the fuselage, on that position without any shims, that it's 2 degrees. It's super simple, but I think it's super nice to be accurate like this, and to be sure that if you use another fuselage with another back wing, you're gonna have the same angle. So I think this is super important to get this, and super nice. So it's super easy.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing. When you take the foil apart, you want to be able to put it back together, and that it's pretty much the same as where you had it.
Yeah.
And also exactly the angle. So it's 2 degrees when you start, typically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We still have these angle meters we carry out to the beach sometimes and check the angles, but usually out of the box, the rear wing is set to 2 degrees.
Yeah.
Chris, with this five screw we have in the front wing, for the front wing.
Yeah.
To before, you remember the 3 screws we had.
Yeah.
I feel that before, to get really stiff connection, you have to put a lot of tension on the screws. Now with the 5 screws, you can put way less. So it means that after sailing or after a few days, it's way more easy to take it out, and it's way less stressful on the screws. And this is good. That's what I found out in Tenerife after many days of using.
Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, I think we've all kind of struggled a little bit with screw engagement depth not being enough, and we had 2018 some fuselages that the screws stripped. That was not pleasant, but we learned from that, and so now it sounds like a lot of screws, but they're all M6 torque screws, and so like Antoine said, without so much torque, you can get the wing really stiff.
Yes.
So yeah, that's really good, especially on the bigger wings. Yeah.
We actually have
Chris?
another question on the assembly of the foils, and that is how strong should you tighten the screws? Should you do it moderate or strong?
But actually, that's what we are saying before.
Yeah.
But with the three screws, you had to do it strong.
Yeah.
Now you just do it moderate, like not too crazy, just enough, and it will be the front wing is really set on the fuselage and is really stiff.
All right. I think we had some other question coming in just when I started talking. So if you want to go ahead again.
Hello? Yeah, I have one of the old masts that have 4 balls instead of 3. Do you make the new fuselage system for the old mast?
I may have some old fuselages around, but no, this one is the problem with this one is that it's a great design. It's just very difficult to build consistently. So if yours is working well and strong and everything, it's a good one.
All right, it's just if I want the new fuselage with 5 screws in the front wing, can I get one of those to my old mast?
Yeah, no, this is a tough one. So our philosophy is we try to maintain backward compatibility at least, back at least maybe a year, 2 years, and so we change one part at a time. So everything's from the old years. All the wings are all compatible. So your wings will be compatible with the new fuselage now, and then we changed the mast connection. Now already 2 years. So I think you want to talk to Tobias about the options for maybe upgrading your set to the new one, because if you want to make a custom fuselage, something like this, maybe we can arrange. But yeah, this one we don't make on the new fuselage.
All right.
Chris, we talked about this fuselage +3.
Yeah, +3. Yeah.
Slalom. Because so in the slalom set you normally get the 1 meter, the 1 meter fuselage, but now there's this +3, which means that the front wing actually is not 3 cm more. It's only 1.5. No, Chris?
Yeah. It's all relative, right? So originally we had a standard position. We made everything relative to that. So the one Antoine there has +3 is actually only 1.7 different from the one that's the 100.
Okay.
But
so this fuselage plus the 1 meter plus was a little bit better for me to use with the 70, because I think I'm more heavy than the normal people who is foiling around. But so it actually gives you a little bit more support. It's kind of interesting in low speed when you are waiting for the starting line or something like this, or if you want to make the foiling jibe, you get an extra power, and this was really good for me.
Yeah, perfect. I see there's a question about why we put the rear wing on the fuselage from below. Well, other manufacturers mount it from above. This is a good question.
Don't tell, Chris. This is a secret.
Don't tell it. Don't tell it. I can say it's much easier to put the wing on when the fuselage is upside down. If you have to bend down and put the screws, you're going to drop the screws in the sand, and you'll never find them.
Now you can say. Huh?
Okay. There's another question here about Windsurf front wings for wing foiling. Okay, so these Windsurf wings work great for foiling, They don't lift up quite as early as some of the wing foiling specific wings, but they're working great. All right. Any other? Let's see. There are some questions. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, we have another one from Team Oppedal. How do you prepare the foil before a race? Clean it, sandpaper, or something like that?
Antoine, do you do anything to it?
I try to go before to go in the water. Normally, the foil is clean, because when I took it out and I put it in the bag, I always have fresh water, or sometimes I put a little bit of acetone if I see that there is a kind of I don't know something on it, just to clean it to be super smooth. And if I touch a little bit, normally I try not to touch, but there is little scratch. I always put a little bit of sandpaper here, of course.
What is different as well? What can I say compared to the old foils is the finition is quite different. I don't know what you think, Antoine, but I think now the foils are it looks more dry. I don't know. There is not the same finition than before. I don't know if you remember, Chris. We didn't like so much this Brian version. It was glassy. Yeah, it was a bit glassy. Yeah, before. Glassy.
Yeah. It's more like a wet sanded finish now.
Yes.
So yeah, it's. I think that's.
It's
I
matte.
think the idea is that what's fastest is a wet sanded finish, glossy finish. It's easy to keep clean, but I don't know. Maybe it's not quite as fast.
Yeah,
and also ventilates more easily. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I do the same. For me, it's the same. I put there some alcohol to remove the grease. Sometimes we have some grease, or even when we touch the wings with the ends, we put some natural grease. So it's good before racing to put some not only some fresh water but also some alcohol to clean it. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
All right, we got another question here. With the new slalom set, what is the minimum wind speed where classic slalom is more efficient than foil slalom?
Tell me again.
With the new slalom foil set, what is the minimum wind speed where classic slalom is more efficient than foil slalom?
The minimum wind speed with the foil.
When's the foil faster compared to the regular board?
Okay. Actually, we had 2 days that one time I was with the 8.6 and the medium board. Actually, it's not 8.6, it's 8.2, the new Nil Pride slalom. And Matteo and Maciek, they were on the foil. And the day after was the opposite. I was with the foil and they were on the slalom with the 8.6. Is really critical. You really need to have some wind in your 8.6 or 8.2 slalom, normal with the pin, to be competitive, because you accelerate so fast on the foil after the start, and you actually don't stop at the jibe if you make your perfect foiling jibe. That is really really difficult to fight with the slalom board, the big slalom board, and the 8.6 or 8.2. So I think that the light wind board is going to be soon very obsolete, which means that we will not use it anymore, because we are going so fast now. And also, as soon as if the slalom course is not set up really good to the wind, if you have one reach that is a little bit tight, with the foil you will kill the slalom guy for sure. Especially with the slalom board, if you are a little bit below someone, you are dead with the wind. With the guy in front will take the wind. It's super hard to come back. With the foil, if you are behind someone, you have way less drag, that you always can come back to the wind to be a little bit upwind of the other guy or go below. So it's really soon that I think that the big board we will not use it anymore. So it's really good to see that, because actually with this we really think that we can reduce as well the amount of boards, because right now for the PWA you can have four boards, which is the foil board, the light wind, the medium, and the small one. And I'm pretty sure that soon we can take only three boards: the foil, the medium, and the small. So it's on the slalom we did. I was watching the speed, and we were around 29-30 knots going on the foil and fighting with the slalom guy. So even if you are a little bit slower on one reach, after the jibe with the foil, you accelerate. You actually don't lose speed. And with the slalom board, if you don't make a perfect jibe with no one around, it's okay. But if you are in the fleet, it's another story. So it's the foil is really competitive.
And Antoine, I don't know what you think, but I think on the choppy spots, like I would be very interested to see what gonna happen. For example, in Zils, with swell. I think to compare the guys on the foil and the slalom boards, when it's super choppy and swelly, I think
in Tenerife
yeah.
was a little bit like that. And I was thinking about Zilt, and with the foil we are going super good, and I think it's going to be the machine.
Yes.
Oh.
Have the foil boards for slalom changed a lot? I see a lot of guys on prototypes.
The foil board for slalom?
Yeah.
On prototype, yes, because this is the season to develop the new board for the 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So with Enrico, we were testing a few boards. We had two new boards made by JP and Werner, the shaper. And actually the board are more or less the same. We try to make a little bit shorter, a little bit wider in the tail, but not too much, because you don't want the racing board like super wide in the tail, because you need to accelerate a little bit, and if you have too much power in the back leg, it's not so good.
Mm-hmm.
So we are working on the rails and on the volume and all this.
Super exciting.
All right. Anyone else has some final questions to our champions here tonight? Feel free to speak up. Take the chance.
I have one. I hope it have not been answered while I was gone. I have a breakdown in my internet connection. When it is high wind in the race foiling, do you move the mast track forwards to get stability?
You can,
Yes.
yes, you can move it a little bit in slalom. I don't think so that you do it as much as Julien will do in the upwind downwind course, but you can move. If you move the mast track forward, it's like in slalom normal with the fin. It's like you get a little bit more control. It push the nose down a little bit, so the board will not fly as much as it would fly. So you can move, but don't go 5 cm. You just go 1 or 1.5 cm.
All right, perfect. Thanks.
No problem.
Right, we got maybe that was the same question though. Would a longer mast help more than 100 centimeters?
The long mast is will be always better, but the problem is more you extend the mast, harder it is to make it stiff. I think Chris can tell you as well, because it's the stiffness is really important. But actually, if you can have a mast stiff like this with 2 meter high, will be even better, because you will get more control in the chop, in a big chop and sweaty condition. But it will be not possible.
Yeah, it's just it's the law of physics a little bit, but yeah, like Antoine said, I mean, it makes a big difference as well. Even a few centimeters longer seems to make a big difference. And yeah, we're definitely looking at this. We've in the past made lots of masts for windsurf, everything, and of all the things we've designed and changed over the years, the mast length has been fairly constant, even though we've tried 105, 110, all kinds of things. So it's just the bending and torsional stiffness is just much harder to make it when it's 10 centimeters longer.
Yeah, I think it's also a combination with the length, the wide of the tail as well. If you have a narrow tail, it's not necessary to get 110 mast, for example. I think if you get one motherboard wide, it could be more interesting to get one big mast.
Yeah.
So yeah, all depends the board you need, and especially the tail you need. You have actually. So yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Just a question about all this plus fuselages. Now we got the front wing so many centimeters from the mast. Should we not move the mast forward in basically so it got closer to the front wing? So move the box in the board and move the hole in the fuselage.
Oh, this is a question for you, Julien. You've tried every geometry with every position, moving the box and the wing. Which one? What's your summary of that?
Yeah, a few years ago, I tried actually, this kind of setup, but it was I think it was a bit early to try. I tried it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's difficult to compare with the gear we have now, because we have developed something completely different. So with the position, we kept the position as it is now. So it's difficult to imagine what could happen with this setup you propose. Yeah, we could try it. Maybe this is one way to try, and one way for the development for the next years, maybe. I think when we try, it was maybe too early. Yeah.
All right, because I just think that the longer the front wing gets from the mast, the more torsion you will get in the mast.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true. It was why we tried at this time, but I think maybe now with the development we did for many years now, maybe we could go ahead now with this kind of combo. Yeah, maybe Antoine is searching for that now with his project. So I don't know. We don't have so much news, so maybe Antoine could tell something.
All right.
No, but this is something for sure that we could try again, but we will need to make new fuselage, because we will need to keep as well the length of the fuselage, the 1 meter. So this we could try. Of course, we could try.
Yeah.
Right. Thanks a lot, everyone,
guys.
for all the good questions, and thanks a lot to Chris and Antoine and Julien for all the great answers. And on behalf of the whole F4 team, I wish you all a very pleasant evening, and I hope to see you soon again on the next event.
See you guys.
Great.
Ciao.
Thanks, guys. Ciao.
See you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.